Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, happy Friday! You just have one day to go before the weekend. And if you're someone like myself who doesn't really have this Monday to Friday week, 9 to 5, and you basically schedule your own time off, your own days off, then happy Friday to you too, because everyone is going to be in a better mood, and the world's going to feel just so much merrier. I don't know. On the weekends, it always feels a little bit more festive, even though you might be working during the weekend. But if you do work through the weekend, don't forget, guys, to schedule your days off, because as a human being, as an athlete, as a high performer, as someone who wants to do their best, you can only give as much as you can recover from. So days off, time off, recovery, it's just as important as what you do. Because again, you can only invest that much energy and effort into your work, into your life, as much as you can recover for and rest for. So don't underestimate recovery and time off. Your best ideas, your best, connections in your brain between ideas, between things you do, maybe your next billion dollar business idea might be in your brain, but it's not accessible to your tired brain. So do take time off to allow your brain to make those new connections between your experiences and your knowledge, to get to deeper insights. And also recover physically. If you are someone who works out every single day, take time off. You'll be surprised how much better you're gonna get at your athletic performance once you start incorporating recovery on a regular basis. Speaking about, recovery and athletic performance, guys, first, starting next week, we're going to talk more about nutrition, much more than over the past, months or two. So we're going to dig deeper into topics of micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. And we're going to talk about things like how to hydrate properly. As I've been talking to a lot of my clients, to a lot of my friends, I realized that a lot of people, you guys might not think about it, but hydration, for example, is not just about how much water you consume. It's actually about also electrolyte balance. Like, are you eating enough salt? If you are into, for example, intermittent fasting, if you are a coffee drinker, if you are a clean eater, if you are into athletic performance, water or drinking enough of it might not be an issue for you, but eating enough salt and potassium might be. And if you're not getting enough salt and potassium, no matter how much water you drink, it's gonna flush out and not gonna get into your tissues and into your cells. Did you know that, guys? That salt and potassium, the balance of those two, they define how well or not so well hydrated you are. So we're gonna talk about that in more details, and about the most nutritious foods and how you can simply deliver all the nutrients human body and brain require, and what are simple meals, simple foods that deliver maximum amount of those nutrients, and what happens if you don't get those, and how you can figure out if you are getting or not getting those micros, vitamins, and minerals that do macro jobs in our body. So all of that starting next week. Today, we are talking about, as I promised, we are talking about training, and specifically muscle building. How can you do a few tweaks here and there to increase the progress and maybe make it faster also. Progress in muscle building, muscle growth, to maybe burn some fat, build some muscle, and just look awesome, lean, athletic, just confident, and I don't know, one awesome human being, right? So if you're interested in building more muscles using some neuroscience, then please do continue listening to this podcast. So let's jump right into that. So what can you do besides obvious training and eating your protein? Guys, if you are not training and progressively overloading and progressively increasing the load on your muscle tissue, stressing it one way or the other, like there is no tweak that's going to help you to grow muscle. You got to train. There is like no way around it. And if you want to grow and build muscle, you got to train a little bit harder than you might want to. That's just the reality of things. Lift a little bit heavier, maybe a little bit more. For some of you, it might be a little bit less, because we just talked, at the beginning of this podcast about the importance of recovery. So if you're someone who's not taking days off, then that might be stopping the progress in your muscle building endeavor. Or if you're someone who's running and cycling and doing all of that stuff, but at the same time you want to build some muscle, then that also might not be happening, because building muscle, strength training, and a lot of cardio workouts, they kind of counterproductive. So you want to make sure that, you do some cardio, but probably not too much. 1-2 high intensity workouts a week is all you need if your goal for now and your priority to build muscle. Okay, and of course you need to eat your protein. Like if you are not eating enough protein, and for the muscle building phase, I always recommend no less than 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight, meaning the body weight that you want to stay in. Or what is it, about 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight? I believe that's the mass, pounds and kilograms. So 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of ideal body weight, or 2.2 grams per 1 kilogram of ideal body weight. So you need to be eating that. If you're not getting enough protein, you're not going to be building anything. And there are some nutrition expert or doctors who are saying, oh, you don't need that much protein, but usually they don't have any muscle to start with. I'm like, how do you know? You haven't built any ever in your life, like besides the maintenance of normal musculature. Like if that person haven't built anything, haven't changed in that realm, and they're telling you that the protein is not important, I'm like what? It's not in sports science. All the most respected sports organizations, they all confirm that you need to increase your protein for muscle hypertrophy or muscle growth. And then there are, longevity experts start telling you that you don't need that much to grow muscle. For longevity, maybe, but for muscle building, yes, you do. So eat your protein. And then there are a couple of tweaks during your training and recovery that you can use to also help your body to build more muscle. And that most of what you're about to hear right now coming from Stanford Neuroscience Lab, specifically Neuroscience Lab led by Andrew Huberman, Huberman Lab podcast, check it out. I think it's gotta be on everyone's playlist. If you're interested in using your nervous system and your brain to reach all kinds of goals, to learn how to learn better, to learn how to learn physical and mental skills better, to use neuroscience, how to lose fat and build muscles and all of that. So check it out, Huberman Lab. And let's get back to our muscle building episode. So what can you do to build more muscle? Around your training, it is recommended and proven to be effective to consume some essential amino acids. Now, some would say, branched chain amino acids, but more research now shows that you probably want to have all of the amino acids, because when you activate muscle synthesis with branch or BCAAs, you need other amino acids to actually start synthesizing muscle tissue. So you probably want to have about 5 grams or so of amino acids, usually 1 scoop if you are someone who, is much bigger than 2 scoops, and you would probably mix it with your water. Make sure there are no added sugars, and that's the best solution for your workout when you want to maximize your muscle building. So amino acids, and with each of your meal, you would want to have protein, and that protein got to be complete. So if you're someone who is vegan or vegetarian, please make sure that you are consuming something with complete protein. If you're vegan, you would have to probably consume something like rice and beans in the same meal. And I know in theory, you don't have to have it in every single meal. But again, that theory usually comes from resources and people who haven't built much muscle. So if you're into maximizing muscle building, then, essential amino acid drinks. If you need advice, by the way, reach out, guys. I'll give you a few suggestions. So essential amino acids and have complete protein like meat, chicken, eggs, dairy, or if you're vegan, again, combine several sources. If you need help with that, also please reach out. So protein with every meal. Then when it comes to training, what helps to increase muscle growth and hypertrophy? 2 things. 1, pre-fatigue muscle before your working set. So for example, if you're working on your squats, then you would want to pre-fatigue your quads. Most probably that's the leading muscle group when you squat. So you would want to do some leg curls. Not curls, actually, extensions. So leg extensions, you can Google leg extensions machine and see what it is. So you want to do that for like 20, 25 times with the weight that is not your max weight, but, a little bit challenging. You might even do body weight squats to preload, pre-fatigue your muscle, and then do your working squat with your working weight for 8, 12 repetition. That seems to be still really good repetition range for building muscle. So you want to pre-fatigue your muscle that you're going to be working on, right? If you're working your biceps, that obviously do a few lighter sets to pre-fatigue your bicep and then go and do your working sets. Another thing is flexing the muscle that you are working on in between sets. Yeah, guys, that actually works. So that helps your body and your brain specifically, your nervous system, to build better nervous connections between your brain to your muscle. And that stimulates muscle growth, muscle hypertrophy. So you want to be flexing that muscle that you are about to work on. So for example, if you're about to do your squats, start flexing your quads. If you're about to do your deadlifts, somehow figure out a way to flex your butt and your hamstrings. If you're about to work on your triceps, then flex your tricep by extending your arm or your arms, both of them. So number 1, pre-fatigue. Number 2, flex between your sets. Number 3, to stimulate muscle growth, muscle development, you obviously, most probably, you want to lift more somehow, but sometimes, well, not sometimes, but while training, fatigue sets in. The thing is, fatigue, one of the reasons why you feel fatigued is because the body starts overheating. And so neuroscience research shows that if you find a way to cool yourself down in between sets effectively, you can actually delay fatigue and lift more, and that will stimulate your muscle growth more. So how do you cool yourself off between sets of exercises? What you do, you go to the restroom, or maybe if it's not something, that is really convenient, maybe the restroom is too far away, figure out how you can bring in some ice, maybe some cold can of water, of sparkling water or something like that. It's got to be super, super cold, and you need to cool your hands, your palms, either holding that can, maybe an ice pack, or going to a restroom and using really, really, really cold water for a few seconds, probably like 20 seconds, to cool your hands. And also you can put that cold water on your face to cool them down. Why? Because we have special like blood circulation thing going on our palms, also on our feet and on our face, that when we cool these areas, our core temperature drops the fastest. So if you want to make yourself feel cooler and colder, these areas that you want to make cool first. So hands, your feet, and your face, right? And again, that's gonna cool down your core, bringing your core temperature down, and that will delay your fatigue, and that will allow you to lift more, also proven by neuroscience research. So do use that to lift more, to stimulate more muscle growth. And then at the end of your training session, do something like hot shower, super hot shower for it is recommended to do it like, no less than 5 minutes, probably 10 is much better. If you have sauna, that's amazing. Or hot bath, really hot bath for 10 minutes, or sauna for 10 minutes. That will actually stimulate growth hormone, and that will help you to retain more muscle and stimulate more muscle growth. So do something hot right after, as soon as possible after your training. And then don't forget, guys, that in order for your muscles to grow, you need to sleep. So after your strength training, it is really awesome if you can have an awesome night of sleep. That will really help your body to maximize your muscle growth and your growth hormone. So after your training, sleep like a champ. And if you don't sleep like a champ, you are compromising your growth hormone and your muscle tissue synthesis and recovery of your nervous system. That is super important for your training and recovery and muscle growth. So these are a few things that you can start doing right now to improve your muscle hypertrophy or muscle growth, all based on science, and they work when done right and when done consistently. So again, what have we talked about today? We talked about not doing a lot of cardio, do walking, do move a lot, and do high intensity interval training for like 20 minutes, a couple of times per week. That's all you need. The rest focus on strength training, progressive overload, and eat your protein. Consume essential amino acids around your training, and with every one of your meals, eat complete protein and eat enough protein. Again, 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight, 2.2 grams per 1 kilogram of ideal body weight. So that's when it comes to nutrition. Don't forget to sleep as a champ, because that maximizes your growth hormone and your recovery. While training, flex your muscles, your working muscle, in between sets to make the connection, nervous system connections, stronger towards that working muscle. That will help you to grow this muscle faster and increase its strength. Also, pre-fatigue working muscle. So before your working sets, what you want to do, you pre-fatigue your muscle that you are about to work on with either body weight exercise or lighter weight. Then you start working with your working weight, and in between sets, flex your muscle. So that's the protocol. And then between sets, also, if you can cool down your hands, your face, that will delay fatigue and will allow you to train harder and lift more. Do that. And after training, if you could do something super hot, like hot sauna, obviously, don't overheat, don't go crazy. Just do what feels hot and normal. Don't kill yourself in sauna. So do sauna, do hot bath, do hot shower to increase growth hormone production. Again, sleep as a champ. And that's about it, guys. So do this for months and track your muscle growth via DEXA. That's probably the best way. Or you lift, if you start lifting heavier on all of your major lifts, that means you are doing something and you are growing some muscle tissue. So let me know, how it goes, your experiment, your 1 month experiment. And if you have any questions, reach out. Angela at Create Yourself That Today. And don't forget to share this episode, guys, with someone else, your friend who might be into building muscle. Maybe you're working together on improving your muscle growth progress, right? So share this episode. If you have any questions, reach out. Have an awesome weekend. Don't forget to schedule some time off. And as usual, guys, till next time, eat better daily.